And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday morning at Mountain Vista UU congregation. We are so happy to see you all here. Pardon me. As always, a mix of friendly older faces, people we've known before and people who've been with us before, and a lovely mix of wonderful new faces too. So wonderful to see all of you here. My favorite church welcome of all time, which is why I do it almost every Sunday, is welcome. We're glad you're here, and if you're feeling nervous about being here, it's okay. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Y'all know what these are? Y'all know what the little silencer button on the side does? It's 2025. If you're not sure what to do with it, ask the attendant who came with you this morning. And as always, we have people who join us here in person. We have people who are watching us live online. And we have people who will be watching us at some point in the future through YouTube. Maybe they're watching us in the past on a time machine we don't know about yet. So we'll find out. Anyway, I want to try something a little bit new. I've asked Ann to coordinate with me. We're going to wave to the people at home, but we're going to do it speed run fashion. In just a second, I'm going to have her move the camera over there, and then it's going to pan right through. So I want you all to be in position, to be ready. You ready? Get your hand up, what you're going to do. And move the camera over. And everybody at home, hi! Whoa, faster than that even, come on. Great. So that doesn't take half an hour like it feels like it does some mornings. Wonderful, everybody watching us, camera, watching us in the future, watching us at home tonight. Today, we're happy you're here. Big thanks to Ann running camera today. A big thanks to Alex running sound today. And as always, the indefatigable Lee taking care of just about everything else. Thank you so much. I often have people who say the only thing they play is the radio. They don't play any other instruments, they just play the radio. If you're one of those people, you can be a help in the sound system back there, in the tech system back there. They're always looking for new people. Go and have a chat with Lee after the service. If you have any interest at all in helping us with sound, video tech, computer tech, running our beautiful slides, go and talk to Lee after the service, and they'll be happy to help you out and get you started. We have an exciting program for you this morning. Yes, it's a little different from what was planned and what you may have seen in the newsletter this week. We had a couple of last-minute changes. The lovely service that was planned for today is on hold. We will get it a little bit down the road, and it'll be beautiful. It wasn't quite ready today, and we weren't able to do it today. Instead, we have our members of our incredible PA team, Robin, Summer, and Linda, who have put together an absolutely beautiful and incredible service that's kind of the counterbalance to the service they did at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month, we talked about death. End of the month, we're talking about the other end of things, birth and things beginning. Among the things that came up while we were talking about this, Linda and I were chatting a bit about the incredible Nina Simone. Somebody who embodied so much of these things about birth, death, a life in between. If you've not seen it, go. If you can find access or through a friend, or if you don't have it, go find the Netflix documentary, What Happened, Miss Simone. It is an absolutely beautiful look, a lot of wonderful music, and an incredible heartbreaking story. Nina Simone was, first and foremost, a pianist, and an amazing pianist. She trained as a classical player. However, being a black woman in the 1940s, she took the job she could get, and that changed the course of her life. So this morning, I've got 3 pieces that I'm going to play for you throughout the service that are from her repertoire. We're going to start this morning with a song that she sang famously from George Gershwin's opera, Porgy and Bess. It's I Love You, Porgy. It's the moment when Bess realizes that she doesn't want to go off to the big city with her abusive partner, Sportin' Life, but instead she wants to stay right in Catfish Row with the disabled Porgy, because he may indeed, as a different song in the show says, he may indeed got plenty of nuttin'. He has a heart, and he has a soul, and she is in love with him, and she wants to stay. So from Porgy and Bess via Nina Simone and a little bit of Bill Evans mixed in, I love you, Porgy.
Beautiful song. Thank you, Chris. Today's Chalice Lighting is by Joy Harjo. Poet, musician, author, first Native American to serve as the U.S. Poet Laureate. Many of her poems embodied themes of identity, history, and the natural world. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are the evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
Our opening hymn this morning is from our gray book, Singing the Living Tradition. This is the large print version, which is why it's bigger. Hymnals and books are always available on the shelf out in the front hall, in our Covenant Hall. And we're working on getting a sign so you'll know which ones to grab. But if you're not one that likes to juggle a hymnal or balance a hymnal, that's perfectly fine too, because the words for things should always be on these beautiful big screens as well. This is a new one for us. It's number 196, Singer of Life. I'd invite you to rise. I'll play it through once for you, then we'll sing verse 1 together, and then verse 2, and then let's go back and sing verse 1 again. I think this is pretty much a new one for this congregation, and I think it's a new one for just about everyone I've spoken to so far. So rise as you are able, as you wish to join us, and let's sing 196, Singer of Life. Back and sing verse 1 again. And
Singer of life. joyful flowers are songs with petals do you write. Singer of life, you color the earth, dazzling the eye with birds red and bright. Joys for us, the flowers are spread, singing is our delight.
Lovely. Thank you. You know, it'd be so much easier if y'all just came to choir on Wednesday. 6:30, right here, Wednesday nights.
For everything there is a rhythm. Good times and hard times, planting and reaping, joys and sorrows. We recognize this each week through our community ritual of recognizing both. We pour water collected from Sonoran skies, our homes and our journeys. Water that represents our congregation. We drop stones into the water, creating space to honor those celebrations and comforts that rise and fall within each of us. We add a handful of stones for the sorrows unnamed, but still present among us, and another for the joys that are present. Both are a reminder of the realities each of us may be going through, held here, held among us, but not spoken aloud. Our Pastoral Care Committee, Sally here being one of them, invites you to contact them. We want to hear your joys and your sorrows. And with your permission, it will be shared on Sundays during this ritual. May we feel the rhythm of these seasons. Like stones meeting water, may we respond to the needs among us, and may it be so. We also have a special moment today, a celebration that Sherry wanted to announce.
As I'm leaving for Minnesota in a day and a half, I wanted to share a heartfelt joy I have, and hopefully you have as well. It is tinged with a bit of sorrow. Just a couple of days ago, our two Venezuelan families moved from Christiana and Melvis into an apartment, a rental home of their own nearby. It is the end of an era for all of us, as it marks over 5 years where Christiana and Melva have hosted our immigrant guests in their home. They have created both a home and become family for 11 people. Juvenie and Jocelyn from Haiti, Kesnel and Kerr Wensley from Haiti, the Blanco and Gonzalez families. The offering of their home and their love to our immigrant guests is beyond generous. They have allowed us as a congregation to befriend and accompany these guests. It has been a labor of love and has required enormous time, energy, and devotion. Let's see. And I just wanted from my heart a public recognition of this. It is a joyful occasion, as this will give Melva and Christiana a bit more peace and quiet and a little bit less stress in the days ahead. But it is also a time to give thanks to all of you who have contributed and been a part of this journey over these years. We have made a significant impact on these people's lives, and it is a blessing for all.
Thank you. I had a little lesson yesterday in snapping the microphone in, and so. So I'm not great sometimes at speaking off the cuff, so bear with me. Today's reading is by Rafat Al-Arir, Palestinian writer, professor activist. He did his dissertation on John Donne. He co-founded an organization, We Are Not Numbers, which matched experienced authors with young writers in Gaza. He promoted the power of storytelling as a means of Palestinian resistance. He wrote, "Writing in general is an obligation to ourselves and to humanity and to the future generations, because it's usually the most important thing that we leave behind." Today's reading, give a minute. He was killed on December 6, 2023. This book was published posthumously, post his death. And it's written, I know the word. And it's written, If I Must Die. It's a difficult book to read, has poetry and prose, but this last one meant something for me. On the resilience of the Palestinian community, transcribed from voice notes. The Palestinian community, especially in Gaza, has always been strong. There is always this very strong sense of community, shared responsibilities, people caring for family members, even distant family members. This is part of our values, part of our customs and traditions, not only as Muslims, but as Arabs, as Palestinians. Even on the level of children and kids, I'm not sure if you hear them in the background, but I've never seen the kids in such harmony, playing together, sharing whatever dolls and games. They can fight, they can be naughty sometimes, but they've never been this harmonious. I've never seen this. The sense of community, the sense of coming together that we can all be killed at any moment, this sense is bringing us closer and closer. This is not to romanticize war. War is horrible. The sense of doom, the sense of death coming, and the gunpowder and the nonstop bombardment. I'm talking to you, and the tanks are probably 300 or 400 meters away from where we are. We could die any time. But we're clinging to our humanity, and this is what I keep saying. This could end up with the destruction of Gaza. Israelis promised to send Gaza back 150 years to turn it into a city of tents. We could end up being displaced, a second Nakba, a more horrible Nakba than the first one because it's being televised, streamed online, and on social media. As Palestinians, no matter what comes of this, we haven't failed. We did our best, and we didn't lose our humanity. I remember during the first days of the genocide, I went to a shop and bought powdered milk. Another person said, "Can I have one of those?" And the shopkeeper said, "Sorry, it's the last one." And we almost fought. I told him, "No, you take it." And he said, "No, you take it." And he said, "There's no way I can." And I said, "I have one at home, please take it." You must be familiar at how Arabs always fight at the cashier at restaurants, beating each other up to pay. It was beautiful, the man insisting he's not going to take it and me insisting to give it to him. But he turned it down, declined politely at the end. When our building was bombed, we were at home. There was no prior warning, and we had to flee, some of us barefoot. We just grabbed the bag, the famous bag in Gaza that families have near the door in every war with important documents, money, cash, gold, etc. So we ran away with nothing. No food, no flour, no eggs, no canned food. And we went with nothing to the school shelter, and people were welcoming, despite the fact that there were too many people. It was extremely difficult. We had very little water, very little food. And the next morning, people who knew that we were bombed and came without anything to eat shared their stuff with us. That was beautiful. 3 days ago, there was a horrible bombing here. I went downstairs very quickly, and there was a woman with 2 kids, and they were crying. I stopped and took dates and gave them to the kids. The woman was surprised, and the kids were silent. They were no longer crying. I believe it is contagious. Doing good is contagious. It makes you feel accomplished. It's rewarding in the way you help others, and it makes others help others. And this is what I want, for this to be infectious in the positive sense. And I see people doing this all the time. Thank you.
I forgot to mention earlier that I'm Chris Tackett, your music director and occasional piano player. And our regular settled minister, the Reverend Matthew Funk Crary, is off today. He's enjoying a bit of a well-earned break. And in their place, you have me, Summer, who you've heard from a moment ago, Robin, who you're going to hear from in just a second, and Linda, who you will also hear from in just a little bit. Robin's going to sing a gorgeous, gorgeous song for you right now. It's from 1980s Broadway musical called Barnum, which, as you can probably guess, is about the life of showman, huckster, and oh my God, such a colorful character, P.T. Barnum. There's two big songs from this show. One is after his famous dictum, "There is a sucker born every minute," and this beautiful one called "The Colors of My Life," at which he is sitting and reflecting on what his life and how rich it's been and how lovely it's been. Music by Cy Coleman, lyrics by Michael Stewart, and the lovely and talented Robin.
Thanks. The colors of my life are bountiful and bold. The purple glow of indigo, the gleam of green and gold, the splendor of a sunrise, the dazzle of a flame, the glory of a rainbow. I'd put 'em all to shame. No quiet browns and grays, I'll take my days instead and fill them till they overflow with rose and cherry red. And should this sunlit world grow dark one day, the colors of my life will lead a shining light to show the way. No quiet browns and grays, I'll take my days instead and fill them till they overflow with rose and cherry red. And should this sunlit world grow dark one day, the colors of my life will lead a shining light to show the way. We'd like to invite you now into a time of meditation. Find a comfortable position, get all your wiggles out. This tune is familiar.
to a lot of you, I think, maybe all of you, please do feel free to hum along, sing along, or just sit in the beautiful moment. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So when we spoke at the beginning of the month about death, I made a fun little presentation for you about the stages that we go through. This time, I had a really fun conversation with ChatGPT about flowers and about what flowers mean and the lessons that we can learn from them. So together, ChatGPT and I created a flower's guide to life. So I'm going to share some of that with you today. I'm going to tell you about a flower, bless you, or a tree, or a cactus, and I'm going to tell you about their superpower, their symbolism, the lesson we learn from them, and then I'll share a famous quote. We'll also have some fun slides for you to look at. Our first is the saguaro cactus, one I think everyone here is familiar with. So the saguaro's superpower is that it takes decades for it to bloom. It holds water like a champion. It grows tall and regal against all odds. Its symbolism is endurance, patience, and wisdom. The lesson: sometimes greatness takes decades. Growth doesn't always look impressive on the outside. True beauty may be slowly gathering itself in secret until one night, under the stars, it bursts into glorious bloom. Trust your slow seasons. They are a part of the masterpiece. This quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson: adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Next, we move on to the Joshua tree. The superpower of the Joshua tree is that it can survive brutal desert conditions, and only after enduring freezing temperatures, it has to freeze to death and come back to life. Then it will flower and reproduce. Its symbolism is resilience through hardship, unique beauty. Sometimes hardship, the lesson, sometimes hardship is the catalyst for your next bloom. The most unusual, awe-inspiring parts of you may only emerge after a long, cold season. Survival isn't enough. Thriving comes when you lean into your weird, your wild, your wonderfully weathered self. This quote by Albert Camus: in the depth of winter, I finally learned that there was in me an invincible summer. Next up, the desert marigold. Now, the marigold's superpower is that it blooms wildly in dry, rocky, seemingly hopeless spaces. Its symbolism is cheerfulness, optimism, and grit. The lesson? Life doesn't have to be lush for joy to grow. Even a cracked sidewalk can host a party of gold if the right spirit shows up. Bloom anyway, and bring the confetti. This quote by Lady Bird Johnson: "Where flowers bloom, so does hope." Moving along to our familiar friend, the prickly pear cactus. Now, this picture is from a prickly pear cactus that grows in front of my home. Apparently a javelina got at it, and a piece of it fell off. It laid on the ground for 3 days in a row, and for 3 days that bloom opened and closed, opened and closed. It was amazing. That's why it gets to be featured here. Its superpower: the beautiful blooms and delicious fruit hidden behind a lot of sharp defenses. Its symbolism is boundaries, self-protection, and unexpected sweetness. The lesson: healthy boundaries aren't barriers to love. They're invitations to approach carefully with respect. Trust your thorns. They guard the juicy, joyful heart of you. And watch out for javelinas. This quote by Brené Brown: "Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others." Next, we move on to the sunflower. This sunflower grew in the crack between the asphalt of the parking lot and the brick of the building behind my condo in Chicago. It just popped out of nowhere one day. I was just walking through the alley and was like, oh, what? It's taller than me. I don't know if you can tell from the picture. And like, how? Where? What? How did that happen? Stunning. Its superpower is that it tracks the sun as it moves, turning its face towards the light. Its symbolism is positivity, loyalty, and growth. The lesson: what you focus on shapes you. Turn your face toward what makes you shine, not what makes you shrink. Follow your light fiercely, even if it means towering over the weeds. This quote by Walt Whitman: "Keep your face always towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you." The cherry blossom. Its superpower is that it bursts into magnificent bloom for just a short time every year. Its symbolism is life's fragile beauty and fleeting joy. The lesson: everything precious is temporary, so dance, laugh, cry, say I love you, say it again. Nothing lasts forever, and that's what makes it breathtaking. This quote by Buddha: "Nothing is forever except change." The lily. Its superpower is that it grows from bulbs underground and then emerges with pure, vibrant blooms. Its symbolism is renewal, rebirth, and hidden growth. The lesson: sometimes you have to go underground to rest, to heal, to rebuild. Trust that invisible work. The most radiant parts of you are getting ready to break through the surface. From the Talmud: every blade of grass has its angel that bends over and it whispers, grow, grow. The mesquite tree. Its superpower is that it sends taproots over 100 feet deep to find water that others can't reach. What? The symbolism: deep nourishment and hidden strength. Our lesson: surface storms don't shake trees with deep roots. Nourish yourself at the deepest levels, not the shallowest. Your real power lies far beneath what anyone can see. From the amazing Dolly: storms make trees take deeper roots. The lotus. Its superpower is that the lotus grows from the mud, emerging clean and beautiful. It thrives in muddy water, representing how challenges and hardships can be transformed into opportunities for growth and renewal. Its symbolism: purity, enlightenment, and rebirth. Our lesson? Your beginnings do not define your destiny. You can rise clean and new no matter where you started. Even in the most difficult times, we have the capacity to bloom, to shed old patterns, and emerge stronger and more radiant than before. To quote Thich Nhat Hanh, I practice that. No mud, no lotus. And finally, we end with the daffodil. Its superpower is that the daffodil is one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring, symbolizing new beginnings after the long, cold winter months. Its symbolism is renewal, hope, and fresh starts. The lesson: there's beauty in being the first to start anew. Even when the ground is still cold or uncertain, don't be afraid to bloom early. Even if you're unsure what's ahead, sometimes your leap of faith brings brightness and joy to the world. From Alice Walker from The Color Purple, for with the flowers, the earth blooms again.
Thank you, Robin. Another song that I didn't know was from Broadway, but also sung and made famous in many ways. She had the first single on it by Nina Simone. This is a song that's from 1964's Leslie Bricusse and Anthony Newley show, The Roar of the Grease Paint, The Smell of the Crowd. Any of you know that show? It was one of the first shows I ever did as a music director. So somehow or another, though, so 40-some years ago, I never connected that this song was from that show because it's done very differently in the show. It's also been covered most recently by Michael Bublé and a lot of other people. And this was a special request from Linda. It's virtually impossible to feel bad while you're singing Feeling Good. Bird flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom in the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies out having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. Stars in the sky, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
love that song. I play it almost every day. I send it to people as much as I can because I want everybody to understand who they are and how to feel. You know, do not fear life is the title of what we're doing here today. And that is the thing that we have to understand, that we have been resisting the one thing that keeps us alive, life. I decided about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I woke up, nice to have done, and but the thought that came to me was, I'm going to be happy now. And the thought that came with it was, you've never been unhappy, you've just pretended. You tried to act like you were unhappy because people said that certain things happened to you where you were supposed to be unhappy and sad and pitiful. And it wasn't true at all because I've never been unhappy when I really look at it. And every day my life has changed because of that one decision, that one thing that I've decided, that I am a happy, happy person. And I got a call from Robin. Robin and I talk a lot. One day, something hit me, and I decided to call Robin, and I said, Robin, are you ready to drop all the stuff that you've held on to for all these years? And if you are, I want to work with you. I do counseling. I said, I want to work with you, and I want to help you to come out of whatever you've been doing. She'd been dealing with cancer. All a charade, really, because it's all about gathering something around you to make you unhappy. Because the world says you're supposed to be unhappy. We began to work, and the work was insane because what happened was, it didn't only just work for her, it worked for me. Because I suddenly saw myself and felt myself letting go of so many things. Things would happen and they would come in and I would think, okay, this is what I'm going to be unhappy about today. And it wouldn't let me do it. It kept saying, no, you don't even have to do this anymore. I'd had a very strange relationship with my daughter through the years. And it had been very unhappy for me. And I held on to that because I would look at it, and if days were going well, I might pick up and decide I'm going to call her so I can see how unhappy I can be today. And one day she called me, and she'd been speaking to someone about their mother. And she said, I want you to know that you are the best mother I could have ever had. I want you to know how much I love you and all the things that you've done for me. And I want you to know that they have not gone unrecognized for me. That I feel this love for you and I have this horror of you dying and going away. I'd do anything to keep you alive. And a lot of times what I did was I'd cause a lot of trouble because I knew that would keep you alive and engaged. Oh my God, is that what that was about? But then what I understood was, oh, I got to check her off my list of how to be unhappy. I can't not do that anymore. So Robin and I were talking, and she asked me, she said, what would you want to tell people, want them to know about themselves and about the reality of their lives? What would you want them to know? And oh my God, I said, how long do I have? There's so many things I want to share and so many things that I've seen happen to people that they can let go of now. And I said, I want people to understand that you create your own reality through how you think and how you address things, and that you are the one who's responsible for what happens in your life. You are the one who creates this whole scenario, like I did with my daughter, and that you don't have to do that. You got to just stop and say, how do I think about things? How do I address things? What is the thing? What is the goal of my life? Is it to be unhappy, or is it to be happy? You got to choose your goal and then find the things that will work for you. I want people to understand their innate personal power. This is a power that's in you, and it's a power that you can actually test and find, and it's by finding your pulse. And I want everybody to just find the pulse, whether it's here in the neck or in your wrist. This is the life force going through you. This is the life force that will address every situation of your life. This is the life force that is in everyone. Everyone has this, and you are connected to everyone. So you are communicating through this life force. It is going through and it is cleansing. It's pulling out any toxins. Every day it cleans you out and makes you brand new. But it's up to you to allow that to happen, because it's up to you as to whether you get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to it now. I'm going to let my life just be a mess. This is what I want, because this is how everybody knows me, as an absolute mess. You've got to decide how you want to be seen and how you want to be. I want you to know that you are responsible for your life through your decisions. Decide. You know, earlier in the year, we did something where I talked about a word. Everyone chose a word that they were going to use in their lives, and how to embrace that word. And mine was intrepid. And to be intrepid is to be fearless, bold, courageous, valiant, heroic. Heroic, is that okay? Daring, gallant, resolute, and audacious, plucky, dauntless, and brave. And every day I look and I have my little stone that we wrote them on, and I say, I am intrepid. I can do anything. I can do everything. Everything is there for me through this strength, this thing that wells up in me every single day, giving me power to move through my life. And I started to think about it, and I started thinking about daffodils. And that's why I was so happy we were going to be doing what we're doing today with the flowers, because daffodils have become my touch flower, not my touchstone, my touch flower. When I lived in Big Bear Lake in California, up in the mountains, and I had a flower bed in the front of my house. I moved up there because it was cooler in the summers. I had somehow forgotten about what the winters were going to be like. And it got snowed in once for 8 days, and that's when I decided to move. But I had a flower bed in my front yard. And the snow was, it was 2 feet high. It was up there. And I happened to look out, and I saw a little peak of yellow coming up out of the snow. I thought, well, I live sort of back, so nobody threw trash up there. What could that be? And I looked, and I realized it was daffodils. They didn't care. You see, daffodils are not afraid of life. They know they're filled with it. They know that what their duty is, their responsibility is to rise up and be there and be bright and shiny. And I don't have the whole explanation you had, but I love that thing of daffodils and what they do and how they cheer you and how wonderful and powerful they are. And those daffodils were there, and they were wonderful, and they were intrepid. They didn't care. You see, all they want to do is live life fully and completely. It's all they want. That's what I want for me. That's what I want. I want to feel that force coming up in me, and I want to live without fear, and I want to be gallant and resolute and all these words that are here for me. But the daffodils really showed me who they were after the fires, which I've talked about in Altadena in California, where my brother-in-law and my sister were burned out of 3 homes. They lost their businesses, they lost their cars, they lost everything that they had, it seemed. But in the middle of one of the properties, and in this picture you see that the daffodils have grown up out of the ashes. Out of the ashes, because they grew up out of the place where the house had been sitting. So it wasn't like they had planted these bulbs. But the daffodils came to tell them that there was life still there. That life was never going to end. That no matter what had happened, life was going to go on. And it did. My sister and her husband are living in a luxury apartment now because of insurance that my sister was smart enough to write. She was involved in insurance. They have brand new cars. They can live in this luxury apartment for 5 years, and the insurance pays for everything. They are really better off than they were before. It's like they're on vacation. My brother-in-law had wanted to quit the business or retire from the business that they had established. He didn't know how to do that. I've mentioned this before. And all of a sudden, it was all answered. It was all taken care of. He asked for it, and his consciousness was so there that he wanted to be able to retire. We don't want to hurt the other. I'm sorry for the people who had horrible damage and are not coming out of it. But again, you got to know there's a consciousness involved in all of that too. The daffodils represent the qualities that say, it doesn't matter what happens, because there's something in you that can make a change. There's something in you that can make it work. There's something in you that says, I can do this. Someone was sharing something today about their brother and the fact that whenever he decided to learn something, didn't matter what, I think I want to learn how to do that. And all of a sudden, everything he needed to be able to do that would come to help him to do that. Because he was focused, because this is what he wants to do. This is who he knows he is. He understands, maybe better than any of us, that there's a power in him that will allow him to do whatever he needs to do or desires to do. But see, we're so afraid of life. We've been so taught that we're limited, that you can only do this much. If you come out of the mud, you're never going to be able to make it. You know, that you'll never flower, that you'll never be who you are meant to be. That's not true. Because in you is the possibility for everything. The story of the brother really awakened in me once more the fact that we live in this possibility, in probability, and anything you focus on, you can decide to do. Each of you in here has done that in their own lives. You focused and you became. Think about it. Because every one of you is the result of what you've believed to be true for yourself. What do you want out of this life? When you understand that within you, just as in the daffodil, there is a power that is going to take you wherever you direct it to go. Minister at my church in L.A., where I was an assistant minister, used to say you go wherever your headlights are pointed. So your focus are your headlights. What are you focused on? Are you focused on being happy? Or are you focused on keeping the old picture of you out there that people will think that okay, well, here they come again, pitiful pearl, that's my favorite phrase, pitiful pearl. But what I understood when I finally made the realization that I was ready to be happy, that I talked about pitiful pearl a lot because that's who I was. There was something in me that said, I'm supposed to act pitiful all the time. I'm always supposed to act like there's a problem. And if there isn't one, I'll find one. If there isn't one, I'll make one up. Because I want everyone to recognize me as pitiful pearl. I want you to wake up now and decide to get in touch with your inner power. I want you to know that it's there for you. I want you to know that at the base of everything, if you have to go down 100 feet in yourself to find that sustenance, to find that water, to find that stuff, and bring it up to the surface of who you are, because it is who you are, it is what you are. So stop trying to act like you have to go through all this trauma. It's not necessary. Dig those roots down. Feel the roots going down. Feel them going down, and then feel that power surging up through your body, coming up and being there to do whatever and whenever you want to do it. You are the power. Please learn that. Please understand that. You know, that's the thing that I want more than anything for people to understand, is who they truly are. They've tricked you. Tried to make you feel less than what you are. And they try to trick you because, well, you're not white, so you can't have this and you can't do that. Well, you're not tall, so you're not going to be able to do this or that. You're not this or you're not that, but you are everything. You're anything you want to be. And until you come to that understanding, when you come to the understanding of that, then life will change. Daffodils represent the qualities that I want to be. I want to know that it doesn't matter how deep the snow, how thick the ashes. It doesn't matter. Because there is something in me that knows how to get through that. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm just feeling good. You know, birds in the sky, you know how I feel. Butterflies all flying by, you know how I feel. See, it's a new day, and it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. You feel it? Are you allowing it to be there? Are you allowing yourself to feel happy? Are you allowing that thing that is natural to you to be there for you? And I'm feeling good. And I want you to feel good too. And so it is.
Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine. I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. We have one more for y'all to sing, and I realized before the service I forgot to grab the second book, because this one needs, it's a 4-pager, so I need 2 books, so I don't have to turn pages in the middle of it. It's number 1064 in the one we lovingly call the Teal Hymnal, Singing the Journey, the supplement to the Singing the Living Tradition that came out about, not quite 10 years after the other one. Beautiful song by Peter Mayer. Says a lot of the same things, but coached and wrapped in more of a Earth Day kind of feel. Peter Mayer's beautiful song, Blue Boat Home. Would you rise and let's all sing together?
Yeah.
Everyone for being here today. One of the things that came and reminded me today's service is that what we pay attention to grows. There was a book I read years ago called The Road. It was actually a really depressing book, I mean, overall. Post-apocalyptic world, the earth is dying, but there was a beauty in it. And one of the things that I remember when I visualized this book is that if you see this really desolate wasteland, and then there's some flowers that were growing. And the flowers represented the humanity that some of the folks in the book really tried to maintain. And it reminds me that, one, through stories, we can find our humanity, we can share our humanity. And so thank you, Robin Thank you, Linda, for what you offered today with that. A story I would like to personally share is that also reminds me of this, is that my grandfather, my dad's dad, was a genocide survivor. He was a survivor of the Turkish genocide against the Armenians and the Assyrianis. His family was mostly killed off, and himself and his older brother were spirited away in the middle of the night and brought as refugees to Lebanon. And part of it, I mean, growing up, that story really wasn't told. What was shared, what we were informed of was, and what we were encouraged to remind ourselves was that not to be in a place of hate, to be in a place of love, to remind and to ground ourselves in the everyday things that we share, love of food, love of music. These are the things I remember from my grandparents and from my parents. And so, going back to the road, I think it's so easy sometimes to get caught up and to remember the darkness. And it's there. We're not saying ignore it. And so is life. Life is beautiful, and what we give attention to grows. So thank you. We have some announcements. I know I'm not supposed to say that we have announcements, but we do have announcements. I know, because I need to say it. As we finish our service today and we go through those doors after we listen to Chris's beautiful music, there's going to be 2 bowls. The woven basket for our organization this month, Hendricks Hawks and Laguna Elementary Schools. Every month we have one chosen organization, and what we collect goes to them. And then with the wooden bowl that goes to that collection goes to the works of this church and offers some of the extras that we hope to get over the coming years. And so we have a pledge drive. So Reverend Matthew Wannes announced the pledge drive total is just over $211,000. And so this represents the generosity of MVU through and through, makes our budgeting process for next year so much easier. Many of you have picked up a blank pledge sheet but have yet to return it, so please do. And so pledges made going forward are vital for our future growth. And so if you want to make a pledge, please contact Reverend Matthew. He will make sure one is sent to you. And thank you to all the folks who contributed in making this happen through Jubilation Sundays. Thank you. Renew UU today. So after service in the Mesquite Room, Aaron Eichenberger, our president, will be hosting today's topic, How MVUU Works. That would help if I said it correctly. Please join her if you are a longtime member or brand new to MVU and want to know more. And this is recommended for those considering joining MVU next month. I also want to put a little push for it in that sometimes people will come up and say, well, I don't know how things work at MVU. This is one great opportunity to find out. And then today's Releasing the Flame is The Journey by Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver is a poet known for her profound reflections on nature, spirituality, and the human conditions. And this is The Journey. One day, you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice through the whole house, and though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible, it was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. Thank you, and blessed be.
Thank you so much, Linda, Robin, Summer. So beautiful. I want to close with one more from the Nina Simone songbook, a song that I've always kind of felt like I'm so small because you don't love me, so I'm going to do something to spite you. Despite you, not to spite you, although there are plenty of songs like that too. This is a song that goes back, it's almost 100 years old. It's from the end of the Tin Pan Alley era. by Gus Kahn, Walter Donaldson. It's not even angry. Love me or leave me and let me be lonely. I don't want your love. I don't want to borrow, to have it today and to give back tomorrow. Love me or go away. It's that easy. Love me or leave me and let me be lonely. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the night time's the right time for kissing, but nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting, forgetting, and living with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love and I don't want to borrow, to have it today and to give back tomorrow. For my love is your love, there's no love for nobody else. Find the night time's the right time for kissing, but nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you, you, you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love, but I don't want to borrow, to have it today and to give back tomorrow. For my love is your love, there's no love for nobody. My love is your love, there's no love for nobody. My love is your love, there's no love for nobody else. Thank you.